everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. I'm really excited today. Today's going to be kind of a different podcast than we sometimes typically do. We are going to be catching up both in review and preview with tons of stuff. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm Rachel, and Amy is here.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yes, Amy. So how have you been doing?
Great.
Good.
I never know how to answer that question.
I know. It's still pretty hot there in California, right?
Yeah, it's just gonna get hotter and hotter and hotter. I think it's like 85 right now or something ridiculous. Oh no, it's 75. Okay, I'm misconstruing. We have been having humidity, which is weird, but yeah.
Yeah, when I was there a couple weeks ago, it was very humid. I mean, of course, I'm from Utah, which is very dry, and so but it was hot. It was humid, and my friend Jen, who you met in our newcomers podcast, she was just at Disneyland and was just saying how it's like it's just like, what is this, July? What is going on?
See, I don't get it because we normally have next to no humidity almost ever. So it's been a really weird summer.
Yeah. Definitely. And I mean, that is one nice thing about living in Utah is that you do get the seasons. You know, there's summer, there's fall, and sometimes I'm not as excited about winter.
Yeah, our seasons are like kind of spring, summer, football, like 2 weeks of rain, and then it goes back to spring.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why I think it's such a blessing that we have Christmas in December. If they were doing, obviously, the real birth of Christ, if they were celebrating it, that would be in the spring. But I'm glad that they have it in December because it would be such a downer winter, at least here it would be, if you didn't have Christmas to kind of make you feel happy. Because
yeah, can you imagine if you like didn't ever get any days of work off or anything?
Yeah.
And you just had to go to work and school and suffer through the whole winter?
Yeah, it would be awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm grateful to have my birthday in January because at least that's kind of a second little thing to kind of break up because, yeah, otherwise, especially here in Utah when the snowfall gets kind of gray and sort of like it's not as magical as it is on Hallmark Christmas movies. It isn't the snow. So yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not really magical when you wake up in December and all you're wanting is like, you know, hot chocolate, but it's 90 degrees out.
Yeah. So this episode we are playing catch up with a lot of things, and there are a couple things I just wanted to talk about that are kind of random, but one exciting thing is I got a really fun article published in the Utah #1 newspaper, the Deseret News, on the Hallmark Christmas announcement, Christmas slate. And don't worry, we're going to be doing our previews episode. We've already been planning them. It's going to be very exciting. But if you want to check out the list on this Deseret News article of all of the announcements, plus my top 3 most anticipated of all 40. I'll put a link in the description if you can check that out. It was very exciting for me. It's the second article I've had published at the Deseret News, which was definitely a big career goal of mine. And so I'd love for anybody listening to check out that article. And definitely, let us know what your top 3 most anticipated are. So I wanted to put a little shameless plug in for that.
It's very good. Everyone should go read it.
Thank you. And then the other thing I wanted, this is way, way past doing, but I wanted to give a shout out to our friends, Jackson Shaw over at the Bubbly Sesh, because this is this was in August. They were in town filming a movie that they have a small role in with Erin Cahill coming up in this fall season. I forget the name of it, but they were in town, and so I scheduled a little dinner so we could meet and talk shop, I guess. And they had obviously gotten to know Erin while filming the movie, Erin Cahill, and they told her that I was a big fan of hers and that I really liked Last Vermont Christmas. And I guess most people didn't like it, but I liked it. And anyway, they told her that, and so we were eating dinner, and and she kept saying, oh, we're working on this interview, and you know how interviews can be, they're just really hard to pin down, because she kept having to look at her phone, and I was like, oh, I totally get that. and so then Jax shows me a little video that she had of Erin saying, hey, I wish I could be there to say hi, and just wanted to give you a little shout out, whatever. And while she's showing me the video, in walks Erin Cahill into the restaurant. And it was, I feel like I'm a pretty hard person to surprise, but my mouth was wide open. I was shocked. It was such a fun moment. They did such a great job surprising me, and Erin couldn't have been sweeter and nicer. And hopefully we can get her to come on the podcast sometime, but it was a really fun thing, and people don't tend to do stuff like that for me. So I was really grateful. It was really fun. And so anyway, I just want to say thanks to Erin and Jackson Shaw for that fun surprise. It was great. And
sounds like fun. Yeah. And honestly, I had forgotten that it happened at this point. So when you started talking, I was like, what is she going to thank them for?
Yeah, I know it's long overdue on the podcast, but I just haven't had a spot to kind of talk about it. And so thank you very much to Jackson Shaw. Check out we'll put a link down to the Bubbly Sesh if you are interested, and to Erin as well, because that was just a delight. And so there we go. That's kind of two little fun things to talk about. And so what we're going to do is we have a bunch of different stuff that we're going to do quick reviews on. And then we have some stuff we're going to preview. And honestly, the previews, they're mostly for the mysteries. And I don't even know when we're going to have a chance to actually review them with Christmas starting basically at the beginning of October. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't. But we'll do our best. So we are going way back in the first thing we're reviewing, because we have never reviewed the Christmas camp on this podcast.
Wait, we haven't?
No. And so we previewed it, but we never reviewed it. And so let's talk a little bit about Christmas camp. And so this was the Christmas in July film. They had it filmed in last year, but then Hallmark didn't option it for Countdown for Christmas. And so then it came out as this Christmas in July. And EW had announced 2 Christmas in July movies, but Merry Christmas Match got moved to the prime time. So Christmas Camp, it is written by the same person who did the Christmas Prince series for Netflix. And it's about to get a big promotion, Haley, an advertising executive, specializes in social media and all things hip, must land a toy company that is all about traditional Christmas as an account. So she ends up going to Christmas camp as part of proving that she's old-fashioned and connect or whatever with this account. And she ends up meeting Bobby Campo, who's the son of the people who run the Christmas camp. And so, Amy, what did you think about Christmas camp?
Well, it's been a while, but I recall enjoying it. No, I'm kidding. I did think it was cute. It was just, I didn't really get into it because it wasn't Christmas time. It was July. There wasn't a lot else going on. Like, there wasn't other Christmas new things. I don't know. I just really didn't get into it as much. But I do think it was a cute premise. I like the idea of Christmas camp. I think that would be something fun to do as a family. Mm-hmm. Like, go to that camp, do all those activities. I did enjoy the activities and the different, you know, when they were like talking about like hope and thanks and different things like that. I enjoyed that a lot. Not hugely great chemistry between the two, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cute. I liked the idea of it. You know, not my favorite. Also, it was July, and it's been a while.
Yeah.
Also, who wrote this summary? All things hip. She knows all things hip.
Yeah,
Is
right.
this the 80s? Okay, anyways.
Yeah. So I did not like this movie. I did not think it was good. I like the premise. I agree with you about Christmas camp. That sounds really fun, but it wasn't even a camp. I just felt like everybody was just sitting around all the time, and like her biggest activity that she seemed to do every day was walk the people's dog. And I'm thinking they're all talking, we're going to franchise Christmas camp, and I'm thinking, what are you franchising? You walk my dog? That's not a like what? And like I think a better example of the same story is in Let It Snow with Jesse Hutch and Candace Cameron Bure, because that lodge has, like, they celebrate all these different ways that people celebrate Christmas. They have the different meals and the different traditions and stuff like that, and people come stay there, and that was way more sort of a Christmas camp type feel to me, that lodge, than anything we got here. And I didn't think that her and Bobby Campbell got to spend very much time together. And so that's why their chemistry wasn't very good, or it just wasn't a thing, because they weren't in very many scenes together. And the other thing that really annoyed me is the basketball couple, you know, that he only wants to talk about basketball, and his family only likes basketball or whatever. And I didn't like how it seemed like their problems, which were considerable, were sort of solved by the fact that she gets pregnant. It's like, oh, we're gonna be great. I'm like, no, that's not the way it works. I mean, the only thing I really thought was sweet in this movie, and that I thought really worked, was the whole military plot with the son and that woman, and her son coming back from the military, and that was really sweet. That worked, I thought, really well. But other than that, it wasn't my favorite. I'd give it 1.5 crowns. I have it at 54 in my ranking. We watched 56 Hallmark movies. So
I have no idea what I ranked it as, and I don't know if I remembered to put it on my ranking. It was kind of like in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I even did. When was that? July?
It was in July. I know. I'm sorry. We're so far behind. It's been one of those things that I keep trying to figure out a way or a time to cover it, and there just hasn't been a good fit.
Was this on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries?
Yeah, it was on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries.
Okay, it's at 3.1. I gave it a 3.1. Okay. I have no idea what it is on the ranking because I didn't transfer it over because I forgot it existed.
Good. Okay. There we go. All right, moving on. So then we have our Aurora Teagarden movies. And I have to say, I didn't particularly care for this whole slate, all three of them. And none of it's just because I've been so busy. But I don't know. I've liked the Aurora Teagarden. They've been, Garage Sale Mysteries was my favorite of the series. Obviously, that of the true, like, detective type series. Like, Science Will Delivered is my favorite, but I don't know, it's different than these. And but I don't know, I just found Aurora to be really irritating in all three of these movies. Like, yes, she's nosy, but I don't know, I was just like, calm down, let people do their job. Especially, we'll talk about the third one. I was just like, it's not even Arthur. I don't know. I just, none of them really were that clever to me. I just didn't love them. But let's talk about the first one. So, Aurora Teagarden Mysteries, Cat and Mouse. So this is, someone begins taunting Aurora Teagarden with cryptic clues left at the crime scene. So the librarian turned crime buff attempts to figure out who is behind the creepy game. But when the people closest to Aurora become targets, The game takes on a much more dangerous edge as it points to a planned murder. So, what did you? This one has Tammy Gillis guest starring. What did you think of this one?
I liked it. I thought that it was very interesting, the different the different way the clues were done. I thought that was super interesting. And also that, I don't know, it kind of just gave an example of like how crazy someone can actually be.
Uh-huh.
The idea of like simple jealousy and like simply not being able to date someone is going to make you want to murder someone. Like, that's just insane to me. But the thing is, like, there is realities like that. And so I like did not expect it to be Tammy. I really thought it was the assistant for most of the show. But then when it did come to it, it was Tammy. I was like, that's just an example of how some people can, one, be manipulative, and two, can just be so obsessed with a person that they lose their their head. They lose their head, I guess. I don't know.
So.
Yeah. The thing that was kind of odd, well, not odd, but these movies are really the first Aurora Tea Gardens that weren't based off a book written by Charlene Harris. So these really had no source material anymore, and the characters have gone very, very far away from the books. So I think that there was maybe a little bit of a different tone, because even though the previous movies had been super loosely based on the books, there was still the source material of the mystery, and now we've gone away from that. Like, that's completely gone, because by now in the books, Aurora's married and has a kid. So, like, we're way far away from that now, and it's not the same mysteries anymore. So it did have a little bit of a different tone to me.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I can see that. So this one, there, I agree with you on some of the strengths. I do think that I definitely thought it was that creepy assistant for a long time. She was weird, that teaching assistant. I was like, what? Yeah, and I did think the clues were pretty fun, where they were, and kind of all of that involving the Real Murderers Club and all of that. I thought that worked pretty well. I guess what kind of annoyed me about this movie is that, yes, Niall Mater is very dreamy. There's no doubt about it. But I don't know. Just all of these women, it was a little much to me.
Like, I mean, how many attractive guys are there in that town, though? It's a small town. Yeah. And, like, everyone keeps getting murdered left and right, so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's true. But, I mean, it was just a little hard to, I mean, not that because yeah, like, the strong, fearless woman can be equally as cringy and as, like, but I don't know. It was just kind of like, come on, ladies. Like, yes, he's a pretty face, but let's, like, calm down. And it was a little much for me. And so, but I have this one at 45 in my ranking. I also completely forgot about it. Like, I had to sort of go through and be like, I think it would probably be a little higher right after I saw it. But it just made no lasting impression on me at all. And yeah, I have it at 45. I'd give it 2.5 crowns, I guess. Yeah, 2.5 crowns.
All right. Well, I have it at number 6.
Oh, okay. One of your favorites.
7. It was my favorite of this like chunk of Aurora Tea Gardens, actually.
Cool. Good. Okay. And the wig, oh my gosh, what is going on? Like, why not just have her have brown hair? Like a lot of people,
though. Candace Cameron Bure has blonde hair.
Well, why give her that horrible wig?
I don't know.
It looked awful.
That girl dyes her hair though so much. I understand why she would rather have a wig than dye it though.
Or at least, like, come on, let's invest in a quality wig. It looked awful. I'm sorry. It did. But yeah, I did like Tammy Gillis is always great, and she's a quality actress. So that was good. Okay. Then we had we have the Aurora Teagarden, An Inheritance to Die For. So this is a matriarch is poisoned during a family wedding reception, and Aurora Teagarden vows to get to the bottom of the crime, especially when her mother, a friend of the dead woman, stands to inherit the bulk of the massive estate. And so this one was my favorite of the three. I liked the whole starting out with sort of the costume party swinging. That was fun. I liked that. And then I think they did a pretty good job. I definitely could have seen it being the Preston Vanderslythe character. They did a pretty good job kind of making him the way that he just making him like seem pretty petulant, I think. And it ended up being that old man with a grudge. And I think that it was nice getting to involve Aida more, getting to involve Mary Lou Henner, because she's really good. So I liked that. And yeah, so I have it at 36, and I'd give it 3 crowns.
Okay, I have it right now at, like, it was my least favorite of this Aurora Teagarden lineup, and I don't know if that's just because like what I'm going on in my personal life right now, but I'm just like not a huge fan of the whole like drama around who gets what type of thing. Like that is just so beyond me, so uninteresting to me, and I was like, it just really grinded my gears. And again, that might be because of what's going on in my personal life. But I gave it like a 3, and it's like number 28 or something on my list.
Okay.
So.
That I can understand that. So yeah, I did think it was kind of an interesting like wrinkle in it that she would just give give it to just a random person that she goes to lunch with every now and then it would be Aida, and she'd have to deal with it. That was kind of interesting, but yeah, I can see your point. So all right, the last one was Aurora Teagarden, A Very Foul Play. And this is at a gathering of mystery and true crime fans. Aurora Teagarden's nephew Philip is accused of murder when an unplanned onstage blackout during the play in which he's performing ends, revealing Philip holding the bloody knife that has just killed one of the other performers. So this one was my least favorite of the 3. I'm not a huge Philip fan. Whenever he's been in one, I'm always kind of like, don't love him.
I think he's only been in the past like 3 or 4.
Yeah, and his appearance has not been my favorite. And I just found Aurora to be very annoying. Like, it's one thing when she's working with Arthur, because Arthur knows and they have kind of an understanding or whatever. But when this other cop from another, like, when she's being difficult, you're just kind of like, stop. Like, it was just annoying to me. And and I felt like it was the most obvious, and it just wasn't my favorite. I would give it I'll give it 2 crowns. I have it at 50.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this one a lot. The only thing that did turn me off from it is we pretty much had a Mystery 101 earlier this year that was very similar. Except it just didn't, it was very close. But I did like this one because of the convention aspect. I thought was really fun and cool. And then to see Aurora but annoying cops from other places. And also seeing Lynn and Arthur in that situation of where it's not their jurisdiction. And even though they want to help, like, they can't. So that was really cool to me. I actually really enjoy Philip's character. Because in some of the books, like, Aurora has a little brother and stuff that's like involved, and so I think Philip is kind of supposed to be like that character, and so like someone that Aurora feels like she needs to take care of and stuff like that. So I do enjoy his character, and I felt for him. I'm like, dude, why are you getting accused of murder right now? But I have it at number 10. and I gave it a 4.5.
Oh, okay, good. Very good. Yeah, it's just a question of like whether that sort of like what you liked was kind of the stuff that irritated me. And so, that's just kind of the flip of the coin there. But so I can see that. And yeah. So all right. So there we go. That's Aurora Tea Garden. And then you got to I actually have not seen the Chronicle Mysteries, The Deep End. It was while I was at D23. I just have not had a chance to catch up on it. So, Amy, what did you think of the Chronicle Mysteries, The Deep End?
Well, it's probably not my most favorite of these Chronicle Mysteries ones. It was just kind of weird. I didn't like how the wife was accused of everything in this whole thing, and it was like they didn't want anyone else to be suspects, at least in like the court case aspect of it. And just like who actually ended up killing him, I was like, okay, this is really dumb. And then, it was all based around illegal card games and stuff and illegal, poker or betting or whatever. And that just wasn't my favorite premise. I didn't really like the mystery.
Did they involve the podcast any better?
Not really. Also, I feel like it should be. I don't know if this is legal to actually be making a podcast about an ongoing investigation.
Yeah, because originally the whole idea was there was going to be like cold cases that she was looking into. And now, that's one of the things that irritates me about the series is that it's supposed to be like she's just turned into a reporter. She's not a podcaster.
See, maybe because in this aspect she was a relative or a friend of the people, so like they've given her permission, I guess. And like with crime podcasts, at least the ones I've heard of, I don't really listen to that many. They talk about cold cases and they do go through like it. To me, it is reporting crime podcasts because they're going through what happened, all the different suspects, interviewing people that were involved. So it is just audio reporting in a way, I would think, and then trying to like give like possible outcomes and stuff. But it just seems weird that now she's like also the editor of the paper, and it's strange. But I do think they have great chemistry, and they had really good chemistry in this one, the two of them. And even the daughter was a little like, hey, so like you want a date or something? Like kind of. So yeah, that was cute. I think they have good chemistry. I like the idea that they work together, and it makes a little bit more sense that they'd be involved in crime being reporters. But than some of the other ones. But yeah, it wasn't my favorite of the Chronicle Mysteries by far, and I don't even think I have a rating for it. So,
how many crowns do you think you'd give it?
I give a solid like 2.8.
Okay. Did they get any of the side characters? Because those can be fun. Drew and I think it's Colleen or Eileen. Any fun stuff with any of them?
Or
it was just basically
Eileen
her.
The blonde one?
Yeah, blonde one, Rebecca Staub.
So she helped them out. Like they were not able to work in the news office anymore. So like they were over at his house, and she came along and was helping them investigate stuff.
Oh, okay.
So she was cute. And then there was a really cute moment at the end where, as a thank you, she gave the daughter and Eileen, I didn't even know what her name was.
It's Colleen or Eileen. I can't remember.
Okay. Gave them like little like thank you like spa baskets as like thank you for helping me out. You didn't have to do that, and it was really cute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good. All right. Well, I'll eventually catch up with it. But let's talk about the Witness to Murder, a Darrow mystery. I forgot. So this is our fourth Darrow and Darrow movie. With Kimberly Williams Paisley, Tom Cavanaugh, Wendy Malick, Lila Fitzgerald. So we got to interview Alicia Ricciaro I got to interview her for the podcast. She plays a major role in this as the person on trial. And in this, you see a continuation of the back and forth between uh, Tom Cavanagh's character between Miles and Claire, and the witty banter is both there professionally and in their personal life. You have Lila's character, Lou, is running for class president, so she gets a lot of advice from her grandma and from her mom, and that's really cute. I thought the mystery was pretty good. Is actually the woman who kind of framed or gave the Wendy Malik's character, I forget her name, gave her sort of a bad name, and she had to leave New York. She ends up getting accused of something, and Martin Cummings is in this one, he's really fun in it. And this movie was good. It was great. They had great banter between the two of them. I thought the case was pretty well done. I thought the writing was very solid. And if you like this series, which I just can't imagine anyone that likes courtroom dramas at all not liking this series, and so I'm really high on it. I thought it was great. And I'm going to give it 4.75. One last thing I wanted to cover was they basically had a Hallmark copycat over on Netflix. It was basically the same premise of the All of My Heart, the first one, and it's called Falling in Love, INN in Love. And this stars Christina Milian and Adam Demos, and Christina plays this woman who she's on kind of hard times. She sort of loses her job or something like that. She gets dumped by her boyfriend. Feeling frustrated, so she enters this contest to win this in New Zealand, and just kind of off of just figures why not. So she enters and she ends up winning, and she gets there and to New Zealand, and it turns out it's basically like this money pit, this shambles. And so she starts trying to kind of fix it up and making it like conscious inn. And she meets handsome contractor I forget his name, but Adam Demos, and he was so hunky in this movie. He was great, and they had, I think, pretty fun chemistry. And there's like a few little things that, because it's made by the same company who makes a lot of the Hallmark stuff with Mar Vista, and there were a few things that made it either. You could see why either Hallmark passed or it was made directly for Netflix. Just a few little things, like there's a little bit more PDA than you'd see in Hallmark. There's she's in like a bikini at a certain point. You wouldn't usually see that in Hallmark. There's it's just a few little things, but it's still perfectly fine for anybody. And it was really cute. It's not going to win any Emmys, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was sweet. I gave it a fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. And so if you are looking for a cute little Hallmark type romance with an international flair a little bit, then check it out. It's fun. I'd give it probably, like, on our crown system, comparing to these Hallmark movies, I'd probably give it a 4.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. It was fun. It was good. So people should check it out. Before we start our previews, let's talk a little bit about our sponsor for this episode. We have Care of, which is a great little vitamin company that sends you vitamins, personalized vitamins, 25% off at takecareof.com. If you enter Hallmarkies right now, you can get a great deal on your first order. Have this great quiz that when you take it, it helps you to know kind of what vitamins that you most need, and then they send them to you in these really cute little packets with your name. And they're, I think, a really great attention to detail in their planning of the products. You had a chance to try Care of, Amy. What did you think of what you got?
I absolutely loved it, specifically because I just went back to school recently, and a lot of times I'll forget to take my vitamins in the morning, and because they are these individual packages for each day, I can just pick one up, throw one in my bag, so that I make sure I take my vitamins. It's been really help for, my busy college schedule, and it's been really awesome. I've been taking my vitamins a lot more regularly than I used to.
And it's not just a sort of a multivitamin, generic vitamin. It's one's particularly catered to your needs from taking the quiz, which is, I think, what makes it great. So you can get 25% off at takecareof.com. If you enter Hallmarkies right now, you can get a great deal on your first order. So definitely check it out. So now we're going to go into preview mode, and for this episode, we are not previewing Fall Harvest because that's actually coming up next week. We're previewing Fall Harvest with our buddy Bran from Deck the Hallmark. Is going to be on. It's going to be very fun, and we get a chance to talk to him, the true lover of Hallmark, and over there. And so I'm actually really, really excited to get to interview him and talk with him. And so that's why we're not previewing those here, but we have a bunch of mysteries and one other film this weekend.
Yeah, so. Guys, we have a calendar that would scare people. Like we were planning, and I was like, "Oh, geez, how are we gonna do all this? All right, we're gonna do it, but like still."
Yeah, it is pretty terrifying. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. Very color coded. Very color coded.
Yeah. If you follow us, you should follow us on Instagram, because I posted a whole Insta story showing the calendar, and that's not even the full calendar. We haven't gotten the Up or the Ion or the Netflix, release dates. It's not even as colorful as it's gonna get.
It's gonna be so colorful. It's gonna make my brain hurt. Okay.
but I'm so excited about some of the fun stuff we have planned, and that are maybe not set yet, but are in the works, and it's gonna be great. So let's talk about some previews. Woo! So we have 2 Mystery 101 movies coming up.
Yay!
And so you've enjoyed the first 2.
Oh, I love Mystery 101, and it is not just because her name is Amy. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, that's right. For goodness sake. Well, it is my cousin, so you should like it. So yeah, I mean, we do the friends of the podcast. We're definitely Jill Wagner and Christopher Poloha. I really liked the first one. The second one wasn't as good to me as far as a case. I didn't think it was I didn't like it as much. But maybe it was just the first one. I had my dad on the podcast, so it was pretty fun. And hopefully we can get my dad back on. It's tough to get my dad to watch television at all, so that was kind of a mini miracle. But maybe someday. Anyway, so this first one, Mystery 101, Words Can Kill. And I don't know, did you have a chance to watch the Mysteries preview show?
There was a Mysteries preview show?
That answers that. Yes, there was. There was a Mysteries preview show with Brennan Elliott and Lisa Chabert hosting, where they covered all of these. But it was pretty good special. It made me die laughing because all these previous shows, for some reason, they feel the need to bring out Larissa and her puppies, and I was like, they're not going to do that for the mystery show. Like, what? But they did.
Guys, I'm starting to feel personally attacked by the Hallmark preview shows. I'm kidding. Like, I'm not. Like, I'm fine. It's just I'm saying, like, I don't like seeing a bunch of puppies, all right?
Especially in a mystery show. Like, what? You're dealing with murder and, like, I mean, it's bizarre.
Can we get some cats in here, please?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Like, even hamsters. Where's the love for the hamsters or the turtles or something? Yeah. Other animals can be adopted. Let's have a small animals adoption event. Yes. Okay, anyway.
We have bunnies. We should have bunnies.
Bunnies would be great.
Yes. But anyway, that was hilarious. But Mystery 101, Words Can Kill. When a guest at the college book festival is killed, Amy and Travis clash after he arrests an unlikely person for murder. Amy must fight to prove he's got the wrong person behind bars. Now, in the preview, they show that the person that's arrested is her father.
Oh,
I know. Spoiler.
drama.
Yes. So, and they were saying in the previous show that they come to real clashes in this, obviously.
No, why would
Yeah.
they got so close to getting together last time, and now they're just gonna ruin it?
I know.
I'm not gonna like it. I know it.
That kind of intrigues me, though, that we're gonna get sort of more conflict, and like in addition to just being a case, there's also going to be that kind of relationship side of things too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty intrigued. I think it should be good. I think it was maybe the play aspects of it that I didn't actually love last time, and it was just something I just didn't love it. But yeah, what do you think as far as your preview? Say 1 to 5. What would you give it as far as your anticipation for Words Can Kill?
3.
3. Okay, good. I'm going to say a 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay. Then next one is Mystery 101 Dead Talk, which is a pretty good title. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dead Talk. Amy heads to Seattle to give a TED Talk but it's a dead talk. Sorry, I think that's funny. But Amy heads to Seattle to give a TED Talk style lecture when a tech genius dies. Amy suspects foul play. When local cops shut her out, Travis joins forces with Amy to figure out the whodunit. So this sounds really fun, actually. I like the fact that both of them are kind of on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that could be fun, them sort of teaming up in this one.
Yeah, definitely.
For the dead talk. It's
dead talk. And it's like, so does he have to go all the way to Seattle just to help her out? Like,
yeah, evidently.
That seems good.
It's a good sign for their relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe things end on a high note at the end of Words Can Kill.
Mm-hmm. Let's hope. Maybe they kiss, and then the whole time it's like dead talk. They're like helping each other out, and they're trying to like tiptoe around each other because they're like, "Oh no, we kiss. We don't know what to do." I'm just making things up here, guys.
I forget where the show takes place. Do you remember? I can't even remember. Is it far away from Seattle?
Beats me.
Yeah. So that one I'm pretty hyped for. I think it would be really good. So I'm going to give it 4.5.
I'm going to give it a 5.
Very
Why not?
good. Woohoo.
Let's go for it.
Okay. Okay. Then we have your favorite series, Crossword Mysteries. So, we're all kind of the first movie. The things I did like about the first movie is I did think it was pretty clever, the clues within the crossword puzzle. And I did like the fact that it was actually set in New York was kind of nice because it's a little more believable than these small towns with all these people getting murdered.
Yeah.
And also, I like Brandon Elliott and Lacey Chabert together, and I thought their characters, and I like Barbara Niven. I thought they underused her in the first one, but I saw potential in this series in the first one. It wasn't the best, but I saw potential. I have it at 39, the first one so yeah. But anyway, so you were not a fan.
No.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, and it was hilarious how they get through downtown Manhattan in like
2 seconds.
Yeah, that was hilarious. So this one is proposing murder, and it's Tess dives into Logan's murder investigation of her friend who is about to propose with her help. As she grows closer to the truth, she fears it could ruin everyone's happily ever after. And that this is the third wedding-related murder that we've had in just this summer, just since summer.
People get jealous at weddings and then they just die. I don't know.
Evidently, it's a very, very risky number. So yeah, I mean, I think it sounds like, because I was like, how the heck are they going to make a series out of this with there being puzzles in the crosswords. Like, what? So yeah, that, like, they're gonna start to clue in. You can't have that for more than one. So what they're kind of doing, according to the preview show, is he's going to kind of turn to her because she's a puzzle solver and because she's really great at this. She is kind of turned to her for advice. And so that's pretty believable, I guess. I don't know. So what are your thoughts about this one?
Do I have to watch it? No.
No, you don't.
It's, you know, it'll be okay. It's not going to be my favorite. I'm really thinking that Hallmark is just beating into us that Lacey Chabert and Brennan Elliott need to be together. Like, I don't think they have good chemistry. I do not like, I enjoy them separately, but I don't like them as a couple. Honestly, I could see them more being siblings than in a relationship. Okay, so I just think these are weird, and you know what? I don't remember what their character names are anymore because now they've been in so many things together.
I can't remember either, but I do hope they use Barbara Niven more because she was kind of just an exposition dump character in the first one. She was just an excuse for Lacey's character to like eat dinner with her and just tell her all the clues. And that she's better than that. Like, they should make.
Can we just make it the Barbara Niven mysteries and get rid of the other two?
I'd watch that all day. So yeah, get her off of Chesapeake Shores and into her own mystery show. I'm fine with that. But I'm going to give it a 3. I'm not 100% convinced this new format or whatever is going to work. I liked the puzzle part of the first one. This in turning to her for sort of advice as a puzzle solver. But I liked enough about the first one to be mildly curious about this second one. So then the next one is Crossword Mysteries Abracadaver, not Abracadabra. So this is during her birthday celebration. Tess and Logan, that's their names, Tess and Logan, find themselves swept up in a world that isn't what it seems when the headlining magician at the Magic Manor winds up dead. She's on stage when the event with the magic happens. That's what they said in the preview show. And I actually think this sounds kind of bonkers and sort of fun. And I tend to like the mysteries a little bit better when they don't take themselves super seriously. They're a little bit ridiculous. For me, like a little bit campy. I kind of like that. Yeah. And the whole idea of, I guess she's throwing quite the birthday party. Got to give her that. I mean, you have a musician on stage.
This sounds like, because it says they're at a Magic Manor, it's basically, I think they're kind of going off of the Magic Castle in LA. Is what it sounds like to me. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's basically this castle where there's magicians and they perform and they have dinners and stuff, and you can have parties there and everything. It's expensive, but that's basically what this sounds like to me.
So this is an epic party. This must be her 40th birthday or something like that.
40th? How old is?
I mean, definitely 40. That's for sure. I'm looking it up. She is 36. So I was a little bit harsh, but still, it's the kind of activity you do for like a milestone birthday, not like an everyday birthday.
Yeah, but she looks young, so like her character could be turning 30.
Fair. Okay, you're nicer than I am.
Thank you, Roger.
So yeah, anyway, so she's having a Lacey Chabert worthy birthday party, and the magician ends up dead. And I know this one sounds a lot more fun to me than the first one. The one we just previewed. So I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna give this a 4 crowns. I just think I like the whole magic element. I think it's gonna be fun. We'll see. But what do you think about this one as far as preview?
You know, I just think it's going to be a little like a little too not serious. If that makes sense. Like, I think it's going to be a little bit too out there that I'm not going to be as invested in it.
Yeah. Yeah. See, we are like on flip sides of the coin when it comes to mystery sometimes, because I like the camp. You want the more realism, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's just different tastes. All right. And we have another, this is I actually skipped ahead because the crosswords are going to be on Mystery 101 is going to be on the 15th and the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
And our next one that we're going to talk about is actually on the 29th. It's the Ruby Herring Mysteries, Her Last Breath.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you think of the first Ruby Herring?
Her hair was awful. And that's the thing. That's all I can remember from that movie, and I don't even remember if it was good or not. And I live tweeted that one too.
Okay. Yeah.
But the thing is, it was just so bad that's the only thing I took from that movie, which is awful because I'm sure it was a good mystery or something.
No, it really wasn't a good mystery. It was a pretty silly story and not a fun silly. But I do love Stephen Huszar, and I think he is just so handsome. So I'm a big fan of his, and I like Taylor Cole. She can be good. But yeah, I agree on the hair was awful, and the story was just too much with all these battling bakers with the revenge and stuff like that. And,
that was that one?
Yeah. And
I didn't like it that much.
I think the killer was like named Candy or something like that. It was.
Yeah, I remember that.
Baker. It was a lot.
See, that was the first mystery of the year, so I was really nice to it, and I gave it a 3.
Oh, yeah. Well, my dad was on that one reviewing, so it'll always be memorable in that regard for me for that. So, all right. So this second one, it did look like her hair in the preview show was a little better. Was a little calmer. So that's good. And so Ruby Herring and Detective Jake Killian, which is a great detective name, Jake Killian, investigate a suspicious fatal car accident. They solve the case, then Ruby finds new evidence that casts doubt on their conclusion. And the one thing I do like about this mystery is that she's an investigative reporter for her job. So at least it's more natural that she's investigating stuff. And her dad was a famous detective or something. And so I feel like at least it kind of makes a little more sense. So, yeah, this one looks, the plot doesn't sound, it sounds very generic, the plot. Yeah. But I'm going to give it a 3 in my preview. Just hopefully they learned and made it better from the first one.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, good. All right, one last one. We have on the 6th of October, because it'll be, the 6th is Matchmaker Mysteries, and then the crosswords are on the 13th and the 20th, so I kind of messed it up in the order. But anyway, so Matchmaker Mysteries, this is a new series. They haven't given it a colon yet, subtitle yet. So this is stars Danica McKellar, Victor Webster, and Bruce Boxleiter. A woman is murdered, and her fiance is the prime suspect. Successful matchmaker Angie works to prove her client's innocence, much to the dismay of Kyle, the detective working the case. This is another one where it's like, how do you make a series on this? Because how many of her clients can get murdered or framed for murder or be involved in a murder in some way?
Question, if she's just a matchmaker, wouldn't she have been involved in the beginning of their relationship, and then after that she doesn't really, like, what relationship does she have once they're engaged?
Right. Yeah, it's a fiance. Yeah, so it's,
unless this was one of her friends previously before she was her matchmaker or something, it'd be kind of weird, but who knows.
Yeah, and it just seems like a stretch, and also it just seems like, how do you make a show off of this? You're gonna have multiple examples of her clients getting murdered
or like being accused of crimes or something, like,
yeah.
Also, how realistic is it to be a matchmaker in 2019 with all the dating apps?
Well, it depends on where
it's a little far-fetched to me.
It depends on where it's set. I guess the whole thing, because she's supposedly a reality TV person.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
matchmaker.
That
And
makes
because it's all based on that $1 million matchmaker lady. I forget her name.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense.
And so there are professional matchmakers in cities like New York and
Yeah,
LA.
it wouldn't be like the small town or anything like that. Like it'd have to be big city with a lot of rich people. Like
that's why I was just gonna say very wealthy clients.
Yeah.
People that would hire a professional matchmaker like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I mean, the clip they showed looked serviceable. It looked fine. I like Victor Webster. It'll be interesting to see if Danica McKellar can pull this off. She's always such a soft spirit to me. You know what I mean? There's such a sweetness to her that I kind of wonder if she can pull off being an investigator, a mystery. She seems like the kind of person that she saw a dead body, she'd like be traumatized for a year. She just has a gentle soul about her to me. And so it's going to be interesting if she can kind of pull off that more tiny bit more gritty side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I don't see Danica McKellar as being the mystery type. I'd see maybe more, because this is involved with murder, though. Like, I could see her more in, like, mysteries involving, like, bank heists or like, something like that, rather than murder.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I'm gonna give it 2.5. A 2.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the same.
Okay. Very good. All right. Last one to preview. We are going to talk about this weekend. We have a new Hallmark movie. It's one of those in between season movies that's coming out called Forever in My Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it stars Merritt Patterson and Jack Turner. Jenna and Charlie found love in Ireland, but their dreams drove them apart. 5 years later, they reunite, and Jenna has to decide where her heart belongs, back home or in the Emerald Isle. So, what are your thoughts about this? Are you excited for this weekend?
Yes. Does Jack Turner have an Irish accent, or is he going to pretend to have one? Because I am down for that.
I think he did in the preview.
Well, then I am 100 times excited. I love Irish movies. I am Irish myself. So I'm excited. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun one to me.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of times these in between movies can be like
have
surprisingly good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like they don't have to do all those same kind of
like season things.
Yeah. They're just kind of, because I loved I think it was Just Add Romance from this year. That was sort of an in-betweener. It's still in my top 10 of the year. And so I'm feeling really positive about this. I think it'll be really cute. And I've liked Merritt Patterson I really like Christmas Cottage, and I liked her princess movie. I thought it was cute. And
yeah.
So pretty much I've liked her her in all her Hallmark movies. So, and I feel like her and Jack Turner will have nice chemistry. He's been good.
Yeah.
In all the movies he's been in. So I don't feel
I liked him in that Summer Prince movie.
Mm-hmm.
He was good in that.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's decent. And I like him in the One Winter movies a lot. I love those movies. So yeah, there's a lot to be excited about, and just Ireland will be really pretty, and it'll be really fun. And so I'm really looking forward to it. I would give it 4.5.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not gonna give it a 5 because I'm optimistic. So I'm gonna go with 4.5.
Good. Great. So we do have some patron responses for these ones we've talked about.
Fun. Ooh, yay.
Yeah. So I asked what people thought of the films that we were reviewing. And patron Lauren, she says that the ones she's seen, that Aurora Teagar and Cat and Mouse, she gives 2.5 out of 5. And Inheritance to Die For, she gives a 3. And A Very Foul Play, she gives 3.5.
Nice.
Chronicle Mysteries, she gives a 4. She thought it was the best one in the series so far. So then our friend Becky, she gave Christmas Camp a 1. Gave Cat and Mouse a 2. Inheritance to Die For a 3. And then A Very Foul Play, the Chronicle Mysteries, and Darrow, she gave all 4s.
Nice.
Our friend Scott, he gave Christmas Camp 2.5. He says meh. Cat and Mouse, he gave 3.5. He enjoyed the suspense. Inheritance to Die For, he gave a 3. Very Foul Play, a 3. The Deep End, 3.5. Darrow, and he says that he has about 40 minutes left, but he says it feels like a 3. So,
okay.
And then Alonzo Trothy says, the only one I saw was Christmas Camp, and that's a 1. So I don't blame him there. So for the previews, so Elisa Peros has said, Forever in My Heart, she gives a 4. Words Can Kill, she gives a 5. Dead Talk, she gives a 5. Proposing Murder, or the crosswords, Proposing Murder, she gives a 3. Abracadabra, a 4. Ruby Herring, she gives a 1. And Matchmaker Mysteries, she gives a 2. Lauren Hugo says, Forever in My Heart, she gives a 4. Words Can Kill, a 5. Dead Talk, 5. Crosswords, Proposing Murder, a 3. Abracadabra, a 3. Ruby Herring, a 2. And Matchmaker, a 3.
Nice.
Becky says that Forever in My Heart, she gives a 3. Words Can Kill, a 5. Dead Talk, a 5. So everyone's super pumped about those Mystery 101s. The Crosswords, Proposing Murder, a 3. Abracadabra, a 3. Ruby Herring, a 3. And Matchmaker Mysteries, a 2. So everybody's pretty not that excited about Matchmaker.
Yeah, which is sad. But...
I know. Okay, and then Scott, he says, Forever in My Heart, a 5. Ireland. He's very excited about that.
Yes.
Words Can Kill, a 4. Dead Talk, a 4. Proposing Murder, a 3. Abracadabra, a 3. Ruby Herring, a 3. And Matchmaker Mysteries, a 3. So there we go. That's the patron. So consider becoming a patron. It's really, really fun. We sure appreciate it so much. So there you go. We did it. We have talked about all of the movies that we missed that we haven't been able to review, and we previewed the ones that we haven't been able to preview. So it's just a really fun little weird podcast, but I really did enjoy doing it with you. So thanks so much, Amy, for taking the time to do this. And let us know if you're listening what you thought of the ones we talked about and what you think about the ones that are coming up that we talked about.
Yep.
That would be great. Put it in the comment section or on Twitter. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at It's Amy Craig.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So definitely check that out. Yeah, if you make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube. And if you're listening on iTunes, if you can give us your ratings and reviews, we really appreciate it. And if you're listening on YouTube, if you can subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, that really helps us out as well. And so thanks so much, you guys. Really appreciate it. We got tons of fun stuff coming in the future. It's going to be great. And so yay, we're really excited. And so thanks a lot, and we will talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye, guys.